Morning, here are your headlines at 6 o'clock, and senior doctors in England begin voting in a dispute over pay, which could see consultants take industrial action for the first time since the 1970s.
A call for better support for abuse victims, broadcaster Charlie Webster on the loss of her friend Katie to suicide, and the campaign she has inspired.
We absolutely can't encourage victims to come forward if we don't put a support system in place. It's totally irresponsible for us as a society to do that.
Are you getting the right workplace support while going through fertility treatment? Good morning. More than 50,000 women go through the process every year, but many don't feel comfortable telling the boss. We ask, what are your rights?
Laying it all on the table, we hear from Ronnie O'Sullivan on how he overcame addiction and anxiety to climb to the top in snooker.
And how's this for friendship? The moment Kevin Sinfield carried his former teammate Rob Murrow over the marathon finishing line in Leeds, raising money for MND research.
That Kev took Rob out of his chair. I know there had been a moment, and there was his support team too, you know, there had been a moment where they thought they might be able to support Rob over the line. But instead, Kevin carried him, which was incredible. Should also say, crazy. Lindsay Burrow, Rob's wife, also completed the marathon yesterday. She is amazing. These are the images that I think are in lots of the papers this morning. In fact, more than 12,000 other people actually took part in the first ever marathon in honour of Rob. And this is that moment after 4 hours, 22 minutes when they crossed the line together. And I know Kevin has done many, many marathons for Rob and for charity and for the hospital that Rob hopes to build. But this is the first one that they've actually done together.
Iconic moment, that, isn't it, for both of them. It's something they both really, really wanted to do.
Rob said something very special before the marathon. He said he'd done NAFL training, which I thought was quite good.
Well done, fellas. Fantastic. Right, 12 minutes past 6. That picture leads the front page this morning of the Daily Mirror. There it is, brothers in arms, it says. Kev carrying Rob over the finishing line in Leeds. The headline says it all, doesn't it? More on that amazing challenge later in the programme today.
The Metro says nurses are planning to strike until Christmas unless they get a double-digit pay rise. The paper says the General Secretary of the Royal College of Nursing Union has warned Rishi Sunak not to underestimate their members after they already rejected a 9% pay deal.
The Times this morning reporting that holidaymakers will be able to fly from London to Sydney in as little as 2 hours. They reckon that will be possible, Sally, within the next 10 years.
That's a bit scary.
There's only one catch.
Go on.
You have to go through space.
Oh, right, OK.
And the traffic's not great.
Yeah, that's a lot of hassle. And this is a gorgeous picture on the front page of The Telegraph. This is Kate Winslet and her actor daughter Mia at the BAFTAs last night. They both starred in the Channel 4 programme I Am Ruth, for which Kate Winslet picked up Best Leading Actress award. Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, and they talked a lot about social media and parenting, didn't they? I remember them talking to Laura Koonsberg in the preparation for that.
Today, the charity Melanoma Focus is calling on the government to scrap VAT on sunscreens to make them more affordable. New data from the charity has found that 50% of people think sunscreen is too expensive and 10% don't use it at all because of the cost. It also found 67% of respondents would use sunscreen more if it was cheaper. The government told us while they keep all taxes under review, they have no plans to make changes here. But the charity says reducing the cost of sunscreen would be a cost-effective way of cutting the overall incidence of skin cancer and would save lives.
The pop group S Club 7 have announced that they're going to rebrand. They're just going to be known as S Club, and they are going to go ahead with their 25th anniversary tour following the death of their bandmate Paul Catamol.
He died last month, aged 46, just weeks after the tour was announced. And one member of the band, Paul's former girlfriend, Hannah Spirit, has decided not to take part in the reunion.
Front pages, let's see what's dominating. Nurses give Sunak the double digits. That's the front of the Metro there. It's after the leader of the RCN, Royal College of Nursing, said her nurses should now get a double-digit pay rise. And The Guardian looks ahead to today's speech by the Home Secretary, in which she's expected to call for lower immigration numbers and insists it's not racist to want tighter border controls. The Times says she'll also warn that Britain has become too dependent on foreign labour and that we risk forgetting how to do things for ourselves. The Eye says the speech will increase pressure on Rishi Sunak to be tougher on the migration issue. And The Telegraph also believes that Suella Braverman's intention. And Express says that there's growing outrage at what's being seen as Labour's plan to reopen Brexit by giving millions of EU citizens a vote in the UK. While the Mail says some fear Keir Starmer will use the move to try to rig future elections. The Financial Times reports that G7 and EU countries are to ban Russian gas imports on pipe routes where Moscow has cut supplies if it tries to reopen them to boost its economy. And the Mirror shows rugby player Bob Burrow triumphantly crossing the line in a charity marathon in Leeds after he was diagnosed with motor neuron disease in 2019. And if you want to see any of those front pages again or read the stories, just scan the QR code, which is on your screen.